Imagine a creature covered in spikes that lays eggs like a reptile, or a tiny mammal with a metabolism so extreme it can drop its own body temperature to survive the cold. Imagine a rabbit-sized rodent that leaps like a kangaroo across moonlit deserts, or an antelope-sized rodent that mates for life and raises its young in shared underground nurseries. And somewhere in the rainforests of West Africa, a striped antelope so shy that most people who live beside its forest have never once seen it. These are not creatures from a fantasy film. They are real animals, alive today, shaped by millions of years of isolation and extreme evolution. Today we're exploring 5 of the strangest, rarest, and most misunderstood animals on the planet. Some break the rules of what a mammal is supposed to be. Some survive in conditions that should be impossible. And all of them are running out of time. Let's begin. Here's a little challenge. My grandma doesn't believe this channel can hit 100 new subscribers from this video. I believe we can. If this story entertained you, subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Let's prove her wrong together. It costs nothing means everything. Long-Beaked Echidna. Deep in the misty highlands of New Guinea lives an animal that shouldn't exist by modern biological rules. The long-beaked echidna is a mammal. It has fur. It nurses its young. But it also lays eggs. It is one of only 5 species on Earth, alongside its short-beaked cousin and 3 platypus relatives, classified as a monotreme, the most ancient surviving branch of the mammal family tree. Its body looks like a strange fusion of a hedgehog and an anteater. Coarse black and brown spines cover its back for defense, while its long, curved snout, sometimes reaching over 7 centimeters, is used to probe deep into soil and leaf litter. Unlike its short-beaked relative, which primarily eats ants and termites, the long-beaked echidna feeds mostly on earthworms. Its snout contains electroreceptors, allowing it to detect the faint electrical signals given off by prey moving underground, the same extraordinary sense used by sharks and platypuses. When threatened, it doesn't run. It digs. Using powerful claws, it can bury itself vertically into the ground in minutes, leaving only its spines exposed, like a living fortress. Female long-beaked echidnas lay a single soft-shelled egg and carry it in a temporary pouch that develops on their belly. After about 10 days, the egg hatches, and the baby, called a puggle, feeds on milk secreted directly through the mother's skin, since monotremes lack nipples entirely. Long-beaked echidnas are almost never seen alive in the wild. They are nocturnal, solitary, and live in remote, mountainous terrain far from human settlements. Some populations are so rarely encountered that scientists went over 60 years without confirmed sightings of certain species, leading researchers to fear they had gone extinct, until camera traps and expeditions proved otherwise. Today, they remain critically endangered, threatened by hunting and habitat loss, and they stand as one of the last living witnesses to how mammals looked before most of them stopped laying eggs. Lowland Streaked Tenrec. At first glance, you might mistake it for a tiny, spiky hedgehog. You would be wrong. The Lowland Streaked Tenrec is not related to hedgehogs at all. It belongs to a completely separate evolutionary lineage found almost exclusively on the island of Madagascar, where isolation allowed it to evolve in ways found nowhere else on Earth. Covered in a striking pattern of black and yellow quills, this small mammal, usually no longer than 17 centimeters, is one of the most unusual communicators in the animal kingdom. Specialized quills on its back can be rubbed together to produce ultrasonic vibrations, a process called stridulation. This isn't decoration. It's language. Tenrecs use these sounds to keep track of each other while foraging through thick, dark undergrowth, especially between mothers and their young, making it one of the very few mammals on Earth known to communicate using stridulation, a method more commonly associated with insects like crickets. Its diet consists almost entirely of earthworms, which it hunts using a long, flexible snout to probe through soil and leaf litter. But perhaps the tenrec's most astonishing trait is its body temperature. Unlike most mammals, which maintain a stable internal temperature, the Lowland Streaked Tenrec's body temperature fluctuates dramatically depending on its environment and activity level, a trait more commonly seen in reptiles than mammals. During cooler, drier periods, some tenrec species can enter a state of extreme dormancy, slowing their metabolism to survive months with minimal food. This bizarre combination of primitive traits has earned tenrecs a reputation among scientists as a kind of living fossil, a window into what early mammals may have looked like tens of millions of years ago, before evolution pushed most species towards strict temperature regulation. Despite its strangeness, the Lowland Streaked Tenrec is a devoted parent. Females can give birth to litters of up to 11 young, among the largest litter sizes of any mammal, and family groups often forage together, chirping in ultrasonic bursts to stay connected in the dark. Jerboa. Under a moonlit desert sky, something small moves in the sand. Not a mouse. Not a rabbit. Something in between, and far stranger than either. The jerboa is a small rodent found across the deserts of North Africa and Central Asia, instantly recognizable by its absurdly long hind legs, tiny front paws, and enormous rabbit-like ears. It looks almost like nature accidentally combined 3 different animals into one. Those oversized back legs aren't just for show. Jerboas move by hopping, much like a kangaroo, and some species can leap distances of up to 3 meters in a single bound while reaching speeds that allow them to outrun many desert predators, including foxes. Its long tail, often longer than its entire body, acts as a counterbalance and rudder, allowing it to make sudden, sharp turns mid-air to escape danger. Jerboas are almost perfectly built for survival in extreme desert environments. They rarely, if ever, need to drink water, extracting nearly all the moisture they need directly from the seeds, roots, and insects they eat. During the punishing heat of the day, jerboas retreat into burrows dug deep beneath the sand, sometimes plugging the entrance behind them to seal in cool, humid air and block out predators. Some species even go a step further, entering a state of torpor during particularly harsh conditions, lowering their body temperature and metabolic rate to conserve energy until conditions improve. Their massive ears aren't just for hearing predators approaching across open sand, they also help radiate excess body heat, working almost like built-in cooling vents. Despite their resemblance to common rodents, jerboas are rarely seen by humans, emerging almost exclusively at night and freezing motionless at the first sign of danger, relying on sandy camouflage to disappear into their surroundings. Certain species, like the long-eared jerboa, are considered so rare and elusive that they've been nicknamed the Mickey Mouse of the desert, and have only been caught on camera a handful of times in the wild. Patagonian Mara. At first glance, it looks like a strange cross between a rabbit, a deer, and a small antelope. In reality, it's none of those things. The Patagonian Mara is a rodent, technically the 4th largest rodent species on Earth, surpassed only by the capybara, the beaver, and the porcupine. Native to the arid grasslands and scrublands of central and southern Argentina, the Mara stands on long, slender legs built for speed, capable of running at bursts of up to 45 kilometers per hour to escape predators like foxes and birds of prey. Unlike most rodents, which tend to be small, secretive burrowers, the Mara behaves almost like a miniature deer, grazing openly during the day in pairs or small family groups across open plains. And its social life is even stranger than its appearance. Patagonian Maras are monogamous, forming lifelong pair bonds between a single male and female. But their reproductive strategy is one of the most unusual in the rodent world. Multiple Mara pairs often share a single communal burrow, called a den, where dozens of mothers deposit their young together in a kind of shared nursery. Each mother only nurses her own pups, aggressively chasing away babies that aren't hers, yet the pups from different families grow up side by side, playing and sheltering together for protection. This communal denning behavior is thought to help dilute the risk of predation. With more pups in one location, the odds of any single litter being targeted go down. Male Maras display fierce loyalty to their mates, following them almost everywhere and standing guard while the female grazes, occasionally marking territory and warning off rival males. Though Maras were once widespread across Argentina's grasslands, habitat conversion for agriculture and competition from introduced species like the European hare have caused their populations to decline sharply in many regions, leaving them increasingly restricted to protected reserves. Zebra Duiker. Deep within the dense, humid rainforests of West Africa, in countries like Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Ivory Coast, lives one of the most secretive antelopes on the planet. The Zebra Duiker is small, standing roughly 45 centimeters at the shoulder, but its appearance is unmistakable. Reddish-brown fur covers its body, crossed by a series of striking black stripes running down its back and sides, a pattern so distinctive that early European naturalists assumed it must be closely related to true zebras. It isn't. The Zebra Duiker is a true antelope, and those bold stripes likely serve as camouflage, breaking up its outline among the dappled light and shadow of the dense forest understory. Unlike larger, more social antelope species that graze in open herds, Zebra Duikers are almost entirely solitary, spending their lives moving silently through thick vegetation, foraging on fallen fruit, leaves, seeds, and fungi. They are extraordinarily shy, and their hearing and sense of smell are so acute that they typically detect and flee from threats, including humans, long before ever being seen. Because of this extreme wariness, Zebra Duikers are considered one of the most difficult African mammals to observe or study in the wild. Much of what scientists know about their behavior comes not from direct observation, but from camera trap footage and analysis of tracks, droppings, and forest trails. When startled, a Zebra Duiker doesn't simply run. It darts and weaves erratically through underbrush, using its small size and agility to disappear almost instantly into dense cover, a behavior that gives the entire duiker family its name, derived from the Afrikaans word for diver, referencing their sudden diving motion into vegetation. Sadly, the Zebra Duiker's greatest threat isn't a natural predator. It's the bushmeat trade. Widespread hunting across its West African range, combined with severe deforestation, has pushed the species toward endangered status, and its deeply secretive nature makes it extremely difficult for conservationists to even estimate how many remain in the wild. 5 animals. 5 completely different survival strategies. An egg-laying mammal that senses prey through electricity. A tiny quill-covered forager that talks in ultrasonic vibrations. A desert rodent that leaps like a kangaroo and barely needs to drink. A monogamous rodent that raises its young in shared underground nurseries. And a striped antelope so elusive that most scientists have never seen one outside a camera trap. Each of these creatures represents millions of years of evolution shaped by extreme isolation, harsh environments, and constant pressure to survive. And each one, in its own way, is disappearing. Which of these animals surprised you the most? Was it the egg-laying echidna? The kangaroo-like jerboa? Or the zebra-striped antelope hiding deep in the rainforest? Let me know in the comments. And if strange, rare, and record-breaking animals fascinate you as much as they fascinate us, subscribe for more deep dives into the wildest corners of the animal kingdom. Because the natural world is still full of secrets, and we've only scratched the surface.